Hi, I'm Tim, and this is my wife Katie, and we live in Beaverton, which is just west of Portland, Oregon. And we've been in our house for 8 years. I've been in the town for 16. Katie spent her whole life here. We've been married for 13 years, and we have 7 children.
Our oldest is a little girl named Selah. She's 7.5 years old. And then we have a little boy named Elijah, who is 4. And next is Isaac, who just recently turned 2. And then we have very cute little boys, twin brothers that were adopted from Ethiopia, Moses and Zechariah, and they will be 2 in September. And we recently found out that we are pregnant again with twins again. So we are going to have 7 children in our home.
And we chose Ethiopia specifically because we were in a small group with a family whose son was from Ethiopia, and they'd adopted him, and so we were watching him grow up, and it was so much energy and liveliness and fun, and as we looked around at what the needs were and where doors were open for adoption for a family like ours, then the doors were wide open, and there was a great need, like 6 million orphans there, and so we thought, well, we could definitely help 1 or 2, and so since we were going to adopt 2 at some point, we decided let's adopt 2 at the same time and get siblings, and we didn't expect young twins. We didn't expect to have another son, Isaac, at the same time, so we basically have triplets, 2 of which are adopted and the other biological, and it's made our house pretty lively.
In some ways, we don't view our choices as making many sacrifices yet. We've always agreed upon a simplified lifestyle, and we've always known whether we had 1 or 4 or 5 children, or 7 children, that our kids would share rooms. Our kids would have a small living space because we wanted us to interact as a family together instead of going off into separate places. When you have a large family, carving out individual time with kids is really important. So even if 2 or 3 of them are asleep for a nap, 1 or 2 of them are still awake, and that's a great time to play and interact and have investment time and to say, Mommy loves you and I want to spend time with you. So I don't have a lot of me time, but that's a choice I've made, and I love it. That doesn't mean I'm exhausted and some days are hard, but I truly am thankful for those times.
I definitely think one of the sacrifices is adjusting our heads to realizing that we're not going to get a lot of individual time with our children, that we have to really work hard to make that happen. And I've been working a lot just so Katie could stay home with the kids, so I've been working 2 or 3 jobs for the last 7 years, and I just changed, praise God, but I've been putting in a lot of hours, so when I am home, I've been just spending time with my children, so we don't get projects done. Our house is pretty messy. We don't get a lot of other things done. It's hard to be in communication with very many people unless they like chaos, and because that's where we are right now. It's not just having a big family; it's having a big family of little children. And so when our twins are born in September, we'll have 5 children under the age of 5, and that's going to be a lot more energy. And a lot more attention needed, and it's so that's, I think, the biggest thing is not having like time to give to all those things that we seem to have time to do before.
People asked a lot of questions of, oh, you're going to be moving, right? Or you need a bigger house, don't you? Because we do have a smaller house. We have 3 bedrooms and 1 bath, a huge yard, but the house is not the largest. But both Tim and I feel very compelled to stay where we are for 2 different reasons. Me, I have felt since we bought this house that this was a place and a community that God called us to. Shortly after moving into our home, I really had felt like the Lord pressed on me a desire to pour into our local elementary school of Barnes, and which is where our oldest attends right now. And I feel like this is a place that He's put on our heart for our family to serve and to minister to. And He's given us a heart for our neighborhood, to live in there and to love our neighbors, to build community and to share the gospel of Christ and the love of Christ through relationships. And we haven't gotten that green light to leave yet. I feel like we're just starting.
I had itchy feet, not to move to a bigger house, but just to move, period, for a while, and it took time to catch the vision that Katie had, but I really have the same thing for our neighbors. I want to see them know Jesus, and we've established neighborhood parties, and we've established monthly gatherings, but there's still deeper conversations to be had, and I don't feel like it's time to go. So when people would say, hey, you're moving, right? I'd be like, get it where our heart is. Like, it's not just about the small house. I'm fine with the small house. We want to be in our neighborhood, on our street, because there's a ton of relationships that are happening and a lot of opportunity for the gospel to be heard, and so that trumps a lot of things for us.
We were approached by part of our community that they would like to build an addition onto our home, and it blew me away. I was so blessed and overwhelmed by that amazing love that a group of people would have for us. Tim and I used to joke with Tim when we found out about the twins that, oh, if somebody like a Stream Home Makeover wanted to redo our home, or if somebody would want to pay for an addition, oh, I'll take them up on that. But who would really do that? Like, really, who would honestly volunteer? And then here it happened. There's a community of people that have loved and prayed for us, and they feel called to help us grow our home physically, which is, it's an amazing blessing.
For me, like, Katie called me at work and she's like, sit down. You're sitting down, and I'm like, we have twins. I just got promoted at my work. Like, what could you shock me with? There's nothing. And then she told me about this home edition, and that shocked me. And at first I was like, no, we don't need that. There's people who are more needy, which is true. We're not we're paying our bills. Like, we have adequate space, at least for people to have a roof over their head and to have a bathroom, and like, it's not like I'm unemployed and everything's falling apart, and yet it's not about that. It's about people who love us. And I started thinking about the story that we could tell, and the story we'll tell to our neighbors, and we'll tell to our kids, and our friends who are involved in this project will tell to their neighbors. Why would you do this? Why are you doing this? And all I can say is, it's because we're loved. And that's pretty amazing. Like, I always thought I would be the guy leading a group of people doing a project like this for somebody else, and I'll get to do that. But now, out of a deeper maybe understanding of what it's like to experience it, it's a powerful example to me of the church being the church and just loving one another. I'm so excited. I'm excited about the space, but I'm even more excited about the story and being able to share that with people forever.